Naneke, I've been enjoying details that you've been bringing to us this afternoon. Well, I'm into the business, but I don't know if there are any issues you would want to raise even before I come up with issues from our world of business.
Well, Kweku, I would just like you to give details of exactly what Dr. Bawumia, gave us during the public lecture.
I wouldn't want to spill it all out, but the Ghana city has taken center stage in his speech, and definitely would have people from government come to react to it shortly. Kweku Rickett-Hagen, who is the Deputy Minister of Finance, will be talking to us shortly on some of the concerns Dr. Bawumia raised. So we have this and other interesting details. I'm sure you would not want to miss any bit of it. But before we get to any reactions, let's just go and take some tidbits. And even before the tidbits come, let me just give you some highlights. As despite measures put in place by the Bank of Ghana, the Ghana cedi has been pointed out as the worst performing currency in Africa. Well, former Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, says until the central bank reverses some of its measures, the cedi will continue to depreciate. He puts it in simple language: free fall of the cedi.
The reality, however, is that real GDP growth in Ghana, notwithstanding the onset of oil production, has declined significantly since 2011. Data from the Ghana Statistical Service shows that real GDP growth increased, as you see, from 8.4% without oil in 2008 and reached 15% in 2011. Between 2011 and 2013, government revenues were relatively constant. However, government expenditures increased by 6.6% from 20.1% of GDP in 2011 to 26.7% of GDP by the end of 2013. The bulk of this increase in government expenditure, that is 94% of the increase in government expenditure, has been in the area of current expenditures. Looking at the numbers historically, this is the first time in the history of Ghana that we have had double-digit fiscal deficits for 2 years in a row. It's never happened. In addition to borrowing to finance the deficit, central bank financing has increased from 1.4 billion in 2008 to 11.3 billion by the end of 2013. This is a 700% increase. This type of trajectory of printing money is very worrying. Accelerated borrowing, the massive increase in debt has basically compromised Ghana's oil discovery and the benefits that we could have gotten from it. Debt service alone is absorbing 36.3% of total government revenue. With declining growth, the increase in interest payments has taken up this critical fiscal space or cushion that previously existed. While that is so, however, as long as the economic fundamentals are weak, there is no law that can stop any firm or individual from wanting to hold dollars as a store of value or even thinking in dollar terms when they price their goods to sell to you. We have come to learn that price controls, exchange controls, interest rate controls, import controls, they don't generally work. Government should rather focus on pursuing policies that would stabilize the cedi and make the dollar irrelevant in domestic transactions.
So several issues were raised at that particular lecture. Now this is the man who was at the center stage saying the Ghanaian cedi hasn't done so well and we could be heading for the highly indebted poor country regime again. Well, now could this be the situation? We're trying to get government react to some of these things, but let's get other reactions. And this time former President John Ejekunkufo has lauded Dr. Bawumia for his insight on the state of the economy. He believes if government attaches much seriousness to measures given to restore the value of the city, it will augur well for the economy.
He talks about the fact that we are on the brink of another hipping. Your government notably took us there. Would you say that...
My government didn't take you there. My government only declared what the state of affairs was.
Do we have the same state of affairs right now? Do you say?
Well, that's what we had. And he knows what he's talking about.
You agree with that?
Very much. He's excellent. I wish Ghana had about 2 or 3 of him for economic affairs.
All right, so President Kufuor there saying, my country didn't take you there. We only declared. Now, listen to the words carefully. We didn't take you there to that epic state. We only declared there. So that's President Kufuor just saying those issues. They're quite interesting. Now we're looking at other issues, and here we're wondering the reactions that come. I'm told that Kweku Rickett-Hagan, who's the Deputy Finance Minister, is joining on the line shortly. A very good afternoon, sir. If you're on the line, we salute you for joining us this afternoon. You've listened to the Bawumia lecture throughout the day, and I'm sure probably yesterday you had the opportunity to listen to some bits of it. Now the concerns here is our country, Mother Ghana, is gradually heading to that state. Do you agree to this? Oh, quite unfortunate. We lost him on that one, but definitely we'll try to bring him back to react to some of these concerns. Maybe we'll look at something shortly and then we'll come back to this particular subject. For some time now, we've been talking about inflation rise, and we're looking at the producer price index. When we talk about the producer price inflation, it's the unit cost a producer incurs after producing a particular product. So let's just go to industry. Now, the statistical services come out that the new producer price inflation for the month of February is 27.1%. It was just declared a short while ago, and TV3 is on top of issues. We have it right here. Let's go and listen to bits of the declaration, this time by Cracker Anthony, who's the head of industrial statistics. And when we come back, we could go back into the Bawumia lecture again. Let's take a listen to the new PPI figure.
The producer price inflation rate for February 2014 is 27.1%. This is as a result of increases in the producer price inflation rate for manufacturing and producer price inflation rate for mining and quarrying. Manufacturing increased to 27.2% as a result of increases in the manufacture of food and beverages, and also manufacture of petroleum products. As we all know, the price of petroleum price increased last month, and so those affected the manufacturing producer price inflation rates. In the mining and quarrying sector, the slight increases in the gold prices in the world market affected the domestic prices of gold, and so that affected the increases in the mining and quarrying sector. For the utility sector, the rate barely changed because we didn't experience any increase in the utility prices for in February 2014, and so the rate still stands at 55.7. And so in all, the PPI increased to 27.1% as a result of increases in the manufacturing inflation rate and the mining and quarrying inflation rate.
Later tonight, we'll talk more business. My name is Kweku Timi. We sincerely appreciate you staying with us. We're coming back with more sports. Do stay.